All right, so I went in and got Ragnar. Ragnar is about a 5-month-old Malinois puppy, and his name does match his personality, right? So, like we have Gregor, the English cream golden retriever, does it match, right? We have Ragnar, the Malinois, and it does match. I think it's really important to find a name that matches your dog's personality, but you guys can do what you want to do. Now you notice that this dog seems to be kind of distracted and barking. That's because I have people here standing off camera and they're all looking at him and he doesn't know these people yet. So Kristen, the lady that's fixing to walk Ragnar, she has a giant schnauzer. We're going to walk him next. But she bought him because she lives on a farm in kind of a weird situation. She lives on a farm, but next to a high population density area where there happens to be quite a lot of crime and kind of homelessness. So she needed a little bit of a guard dog, right? Got a giant schnauzer that fits the bill pretty good. But she's going to have to do a little bit of work to be able to control a dog that has a naturally high suspicion level. So Ragnar is going to have a little bit of trouble focusing and staying on task until he gets used to these people being here. Okay? So you have to understand that sometimes a dog can be really smart and can be really good at doing things, but if something gets on their mind, like the fact that there's people that need to be checked out, people that need to be investigated in the near environment, you're going to lose a certain amount of control. Okay, so I'm going to walk him on the course first. We call this greasing the groove. Now, whenever I have a dog that is going to be a little bit of a personal protection dog, guard dog, whatever you want to call it, right? Whenever I get a dog that someone has bought to be a deterrent to evildoers, okay, I try to make sure that we do a good job when they're young of socializing them in such a way that they recognize who is maybe an evildoer and who's probably not an evildoer, right? So the concept here is that we're trying to get the leash in lots and lots of hands. Okay, so with a dog like Ragnar, I have tons of people walk him every day so that he gets used to engaging with most people in a cooperative manner, and we expand his understanding of what types of people and what type of mannerisms he might be exposed to that still constitute acceptable behavior. In other words, we try to make sure he understands good people from bad people, right? Oh my gosh, good dog. Very nice. Now, when we were walking Gregor, you kind of saw Gregor start to get tired, and as he started to get a little bit tired, we lost a little bit of motivation, we lost a little bit of precision. Come on, nerd. What are you doing? With this dog, what we're going to see is probably we can get quite a bit more work out of him, but you're going to run into things like this with a dog that has got a little bit more a little bit more headstrong. Quinn, I think, accidentally dropped a treat over there. And so look at what Ragnar's doing. He's kind of told me, he says, hey, listen, we can get back to work, but I need to do what I need to do first. There's something over there, I'm going to go get it. And right here is a chance for me to teach this dog a lesson that he's not the one calling the shots. And that's a super important thing. If you're going to have a dog that you're going to use as a guard dog, they cannot be, or protection dog, they can't be calling the shots, because if they're calling the shots, then they might be protecting you against somebody that, they're not supposed to be protecting you against. And that's very important. So see this right here? It's just a stand-in for like a misplaced protective instinct. There's something over here that he thinks is important to do, and I think what we're doing is more important, and he has to learn to defer to my decision. Very nice. And you can accomplish that with what we're doing, which is what I call an attrition style dog training, or like you can accomplish it the traditional way, where you correct them if they, if they start to get out of sorts. Okay, just pick something and stick with it. In the long run, as long as you're persistent and consistent, then you're going to be successful. Stay. I like to do things the way I like to do things. Good. You can do things however you like. Good. Very nice. Easy. Up, up, up. That's a good dog. Up. 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 Sit. Stay. Now, what I anticipate happening here is we'll get quite a bit of pulling with Ragnar the first time around. with me and with Kristen. And then as he starts to get fatigued a little bit, he'll settle in and we'll have better compliance, right? And we might be able to, because he's a pretty high endurance dog, we might be able to get Harper and Quinn also back in here, because I can usually get quite a few more repetitions per session with this dog than I get with a dog like Gregor, the golden retriever. Wait, very nice, easy, good dog. Hup, hup. Good. This is super important with dogs like this Malinois or like with y'all's giant schnauzer. They all have bad reputations with the groomers and the vets, right? And when you got Barney, when you first took him to the vet might not have told you that day, but I think they told you the next time you came. Because guys, vets don't want to be honest with you because there's another vet down the street, right? But when Barney, the giant schnauzer that we're going to work, went to the vet the first time, he was scared and snappy and you know, gave him some trouble. And so when he went the second time, he had been out here and we've been doing this kind of stuff with him a lot, and he was a lot better. And the vet complimented Kristen on making progress, even though they had not told her that she had a problem in the first place, right? Okay, so just assume that your dog needs to mind better at the vet. Just assume that your dog needs to mind better at the groomer, and that's really, really important for me with the groomers, because the groomers have the toughest job in the whole dog industry. Okay, so we really got to go double down on this. Ears, eyes, teeth, spine, privates, belly, chest, joints, and toes. Very nice. All right, now we're going to practice a leash transfer. So Kristen's going to come over here, and I'm going to transfer right here. This is just like being at the vet, except that except that Kristen is afraid of German Shepherds, which I think that's going to translate to the Malinois. And this dog, hey, don't reach out yet. Yeah, just hold a second. Ah! Oh, all right, but this dog, Kristen is still in the out group right now. You see what I'm saying? I got to put her in the in group. Simplest way in the world to do that. I'm going to calm him down. Easy. Now, as soon as he gets calm, easy. I want you to click and treat and show him you're in the same club I'm in. We're going to build your credit rating immediately. And watch how we're going to change his whole perception of you as a person. So he's barking. Don't click. Wait till it's a little bit calm. Easy. Easy. Now we might have to wait a second. Good dog. Just a little bit calm. Okay, click. Stop. Wait. Very nice. Click treat. There you go. Good. We're going to do that. I'm going to hand you the leash, and you're going to do that one more time. You're going to wait for him to be calm and quiet for a second. Now we're building your credit rating here. You see what I'm saying? We're putting you in the in group. We're putting you in the friends. Not the barking. And that, see the hat and the sunglasses, the sun, you're kind of silhouetted against sun. All that kind of contributes to that dog thinking you might be a little bit weird, where Gregor might not have thought that at all, because Gregor is not got an ounce of suspicion in him. Now he's been a little better. Click treat. And so now here's the real key with positive reinforcement training. Sometimes you have to build on teeny tiny bits of progress, just incremental progress. So with your schnauzer, as he grows up, there might be some people that, like, we can't get them to be like super lovey with them, right? So we got to build up, hey, you know, maybe just stop barking at them for a second, and then stop barking at them for 5 seconds, then 30 seconds. And then eventually the dog will learn to give them a chance. And when they learn to give them a chance, they realize that that person's not so bad. Very nice. So let's just stand there for just 1 second and go a little heavy on your clicks and treats while he's being quiet. Click, treat, count to 5, click, treat. There you go. Okay. Now we'll do that one more time, and then you can take off walking and start doing your course. Now, as we start to engage in a familiar behavior pattern, then the dog is going to like understand that you're just like all the other people that walk him, and his suspicion level is going to drop considerably. But I would go pretty heavy on my clicking and treating here, you know, like really make him understand you're the kind of person that like he should kind of suck up to, because you're going to pay a lot. Very nice. And then another thing that's going to help here is you got to learn to be a little bit more emotive. So you're like, oh, good boy. Good boy. Right here. Easy on the way down. Easy. Now hup, 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 hup on the table. Hup, hup. Now easy. Come all the way to the end. Have him wait. There you go. Good. And then wait, and then go to the end of your leash, click, and come back and give him a treat. Good. Good. Easy on the way down. This is going to take a little bit more effort, so hup, hup, hup. Good. Easy on the way down, but then more effort on the way up. You see what we're trying to do when I say lead with your emotion? We're trying to make it so that when you're out and about, you can control your dog's excitement level just by modeling the behavior that you would like to see. Good. Easy on the way down here. And let's go ahead and click at the midpoint of the tunnel, have him get in the tunnel, and click at the end point of the tunnel so he comes out of the tunnel looking for a reward. Very nice. Now see how he kind of came all the way to me? Yeah. Watch. Let's go back one step. This is just a little trick. Like if you and the dog don't know each other that well, I'm going to kind of time my rewards so that I can control his exit off of an obstacle or out of a tunnel or when we're getting in the truck or something, right? So I want him to look at me right there. So I'm going to click in the tunnel so that he comes out going, where's the reward, right? So here, watch. Very nice. That's just a little trick for like when you're adding, when you're getting them in the car. Now, you know how Barney kind of has gotten sick in the car a couple of times? Again, we're going to change his perception of getting in the car. And as we change his perception of getting in the car, that car sickness will go away. Very nice. Now, right there, and this is hard, but see how you're giving your treats with your right hand? That's going to encourage him to be in front of you a lot, which is going to mean you're going to have to pull on the leash a lot. So you end up getting like this cycle of leash pulling and rewarding. Good. We'll have him sit right there by that board. There you go. Nice. Perfect. Very good. Good. And then easy on the way down here. And then have him stop and sit right there. Now, there you go. There you go. Good. Good. And then you're going to try to walk all the way around him right there.
Oh, yeah.
This is harder than it looks. Then put it right in front of his nose. There you go. Keep it in front of That's okay. He's getting pretty good at it. That's good. All right. And then over the barrel and around the spider walk. Up, 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 up. Now, remember how we were talking about how like when you're riding horses, you're doing hunter jumper, you got to get a good line. So make sure that you get a good line on your obstacle. A lot of times, see, you'll think a dog's being disobedient when really, like, you just didn't set them up for success. And when you're dealing with obstacles, when you're out and you're like doing real life, like hiking and stuff, it's super important. It's super important to learn to pick the right line for the dog and to watch your own feet and pick the right line for yourself. There we go. Good. Perfect. Now, notice how Gregor all of a sudden has some extra energy. Like, as long as he's not at work, he's got plenty of energy. There you go. Go up there on the kayak. And then come all the way around the kayak. And so it's, yeah, there you go. Yeah. See, we're always trying to keep our dog on our left side. So that, that just helps us, like, when we go do things, we know where the dog's going to be. There you go. Good. And then up on the table.
Back up this, that one over there?
Well, that first, you go up this one first. Yep. And, yeah, so go off of that table on that end and then come up this one so that it's on your left. Now, see how, now this is another thing that's really important here is the concept of empathy in your dog training. Come back here, let me start you again. So we've been out here doing this for a while, and it's still hard to remember like how to approach the obstacles and which obstacle comes next, right? Okay, so when your dog's not doing things perfectly, just always remember like it's hard, right? So like if you think about how our obstacles are laid out, we just keep the obstacles on the left, so that when we approach them, it's seamless, And after you've done it a few hundred times, then I can have you come out and walk 20 dogs in a row, and you'll be perfect. Same thing with your dog. After your dog has done all the things on your farm that you want him to do perfectly a few hundred times, then you can count on him to get it right. But until he's done it perfectly a few hundred times, try not to get frustrated when it doesn't work out like you want. Because like right there, you're not given very clear instructions.
Right.
You're changing. It's like it's like he has schoolwork to do, and you're changing the assignment. Very nice. Good boy. All right, Quinn, come on. Take this dog over.